The President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, had a rather eventful period recently as he visited Lagos and Borno states to inaugurate federal and state projects including the Lagos-Ibadan rail line, the Deep Blue project for maritime security, and a visit to troops at the Theater Command of Operation Hadinkai, among other engagements. His recent visits will be the focus of our program on Special Report. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.
With thousands of kilometers of tracks connecting economic hubs along its path, the rail transport system has always been a major means of transportation, moving tons of goods and thousands of commuters across its long network. Railway in Nigeria, regulated by the Nigerian Railway Corporation, dates back to the colonial era. But as the sector developed to meet with the dynamics of modern needs in the country, the construction of railways in Nigeria started in 1896 by the British government to link the commercial area of Lagos colony to Ibadan. 5 years later, the Lagos Government Railway began operations and extended our operations to Minna, Niger State, where it linked the Baro Kano railway station that was built by the government of northern Nigeria between 1907 and 1911. The two lines were linked in 1912 into the Government Department of Railways before it transitioned to the Nigerian Railway Corporation. The railway was also extended to its northeastern terminus of Maiduguri between 1958 and 1964. There are several branch rail lines in Nigeria. Presently, the country has two major operational Cape Gauge rail lines. There have been efforts by the present administration to revamp the railway service operation geared towards developing the Cape Gauge network as well as constructing new standard gauge network to aid transportation. By early 2013, the only operational segment of Nigeria's rail network was just between Lagos and Kano. Passenger trains took 31 hours to complete the journey at an average speed of 45 km per hour. The Railway Modernization Initiative in Nigeria aims to replace the existing narrow gauge system with a wider standard gauge system, while allowing high-speed train operations on the rail network. The next segment to undergo standard gauge renovations is the 312-kilometer-long Lagos-Ibadan rail line, which is a double-track standard gauge line project. After several months of delay, the President inaugurates the Lagos-Ibadan rail operation to take on full capacity. The touched-up Nigerian Railway Service edifice in Ebutameta, Lagos is a symbol of the ready state and functional Lagos-Ibadan rail line project. President Muhammadu Buhari affirms that the project is one of the projects dear to his administration and will, amongst other benefits, boost the economy of citizens in the zone.
This vital line establishes an end-to-end logistics supply chain in railway transport within its short corridor. Lagos-Ibadan, as goods to the hinterland, would now be transported by rail directly from the Apapa Port, quayside, straight to the inland container depot located in Ibadan, from where it can be distributed to other parts of the country. In clear recognition of the challenges posed to our economic growth by absence of strong and effective infrastructure, we have in the rail sector, further to other ongoing railway infrastructure projects, embarked on the completion of the outstanding segment of the Lagos-Kano Railway, which is Ibadan to Kano. This would be beneficial to the economy through employment from new business opportunities and wealth creation. The Federal Ministry of Transportation and Ministry of Finance have been directed to vigorously act on engagement and reaching financial agreements with appropriate co-financiers to partner with the federal government for the development of the Ibadan-Kano Railway and the connection to the Tin Can Island port, as well as the west to east coastal rail line from Lagos to Calabar, linking Onitsha, Benin, Warri, Yenagoa, Port Harcourt, Aba, and Uyo. This is already yielding the desired result as construction activities on the railway segment, Kaduna to Kano, has commenced with back-end engineering activities.
Mr. President, the time is perfect as it coincides.
Speaking on behalf of the Southwest governors whose states are direct beneficiaries of the $1.6 billion project, the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu acknowledged the rail project as a big boost to the overall vision of the national integration. He encouraged the private sector, local communities, and individuals to take advantage of the opportunity that the rail line has thrown up.
This is truly a landmark project, the first standard gauge in the history of this country where you would see an administration start and end the same project within the life of an administration. Over the last 4 years, Lagos State government has been working closely with the federal government through the Federal Ministry of Transportation and the Nigerian Railway Corporation to make critical decisions and solve the various project-related issues as they have arisen. The social and economic benefit of this rail project cannot be overemphasized. The corridor between Lagos, Ogun, and Ibadan is arguably the most important commercial corridor in this country on account of the relative size of the Lagos economy, as well as the fact that Lagos is home to the biggest air and seaport in our country. With the commissioning of this rail line today, it will now be possible for people to walk in Lagos and live outside Lagos, and of course, vice versa. It will radically transform the life, the work, and the leisure for a multitude of our citizens along this corridor. It will open opportunity for investment, real estate corridor, urban development, commerce, and so on. It will encourage the private sector, the communities and individuals to take advantage of this opportunity this line has thrown up, and it will throw up along the entire corridor.
The minister, who has been at the front line of seeing the project through, notes that the president has a track record of completing projects across the country.
It is indeed a great and memorable event for all of us here, especially given the amount of resources, time, and energy expended to put this long-coming vital infrastructure in place. Perhaps what many may not know is that this infrastructure development project had faced so many challenges in the course of its execution and delivery. And without the full support and steadfast encouragement of Mr. President, this event would not have taken place today. So for those who say, Amechi, you have tried, I always tell them, sir, that if you change focus from transport, the next minister will do better than transport. It is because you have focused on transportation and that you fund it that we are here gathered and that this has been praised. Yes, let's say we can't thank you enough. You are very warmly welcome to Lagos. Indeed, I will tell you the story of the entire project. Yes, let's see, in the course of that, you also approved that we must name these stations after prominent men, prominent Nigerians. This station today is named after Moblaji Johnson, the former governor of Lagos State. Behind us is a station named after our national leader, Alhaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Unfortunately, he's not in town, so he couldn't be present. I visited his house to invite him personally. After that station is the next one at Gegesa. That one we named after our friend and brother who is in the cabinet with us, but one-time governor of Lagos State. His name, I can see him. Fashola, Babatunde Fashola. I was wondering whether I should put Alhaji or just leave it at Mr. The next station is named after the late governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Lateef Jakonde. One immediately after is named after the vice president, Professor Oshibanjo. And after that comes the one named after Kuti. I'm trying to remember her name now. Fumilayo Kuti. I think the mother of Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Immediately after that is named after one of the best sons Nigeria has had. So the Abeokuta station is named after Professor Wole Soyinka for all his achievements in the world and in the field of literature, which is where I got my first degree. After that is the station named after the former governor of Ogun State, Segun Oshoba, at Olodo. There is one more station, there are two more stations. One at Omeadio, I think that's what they call the community, and is named after the former governor of Western Nigeria, I think Samuel Akintola. And finally, I'm sure the Yorubas won't deny that one of the best leaders we've had in Nigeria, who is of the Yoruba stock, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, has the final station in Ibadan. We will leave from here, Mr. President, and move by the end of the month to Kano Kaduna. We've secured approval from you to commence construction. So that's where we'll move at the end of the month to commence construction from the Kano and Kaduna axis so that we can complete before we leave here.
Infrastructure is of paramount importance for every nation's growth, development, and progress. This flag-off ceremony for commercial operation not only reflects China's support for Nigeria's economic and social development, it is also a testimony of the far-sighted right decision taken by you, Mr. President, on behalf of the people of this great country. Excellencies, state governors, honorable ministers, this ceremony is not only about the railway line from Lagos to Ibadan for transporting people and goods. It is also a railway, R-E-A-L, railway to change and improve the quality of lives of Nigerians.
The president leads other dignitaries to perform the official launch of the Southwest revamped railway transport in operations.
Assembly and all.
The president's visit to Lagos was more than the launch of the railway operation.
Thank you very much, Engineer. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen.
He also officially flagged off the Deep Blue Project for Maritime Security, a federal government initiative coordinated by the Federal Ministry of Transportation and Defense and implemented by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency (NIMASA) in conjunction with the Armed Forces, the Nigerian Police, Department of State Services, and other security agencies.
The cooperation of all the security agencies within the country who serve as contributors of manpower.
A project conceived in 2017 and is fortified with land, sea and air assets to comprehensively tackle maritime security threats. The project is designed with 3 categories of platforms to tackle maritime security issues on land, sea, and air.
The agency, realizing the fact that the essence of reactive measures to address the issue of maritime insecurity, we have put so many issues in place and efforts. We immediately established the Maritime Intelligence Unit in order to reset our program and approach towards understanding and profiling the behavioral pattern of young people who engage in sea crimes and piracy. This becomes for us more proactive approach to the problem of maritime insecurity.
This project is not that of a military, neither is it the Master's project. This is about Nigerians' ability to secure its future by exercising sovereignty over its territorial waters, protect maritime trade in the Gulf of Guinea, and position the country for the post-oil economy. The Deep Blue project comprises of 4 key components: the marine assets, the aerial assets, the land assets, and the Command and Control Communication Information Center, otherwise called C4I.
The land assets comprise the Command, Control, Communication, Computer, and Intelligence Center known as the C4I for intelligence gathering and data collection, 16 armored vehicles for coastal patrol, and about 600 specially trained troops for interdiction known as Maritime Security Unit on Air. The air assets includes 2 special mission aircraft for surveillance of EEZ, 3 special mission helicopters for search and rescue, and 4 unmanned aerial vehicles. While the sea assets comprise of 2 special mission vessels and 17 fast interceptor boats. President Muhammadu Buhari, in company of his entourage and some governors of the Southwest state, arrived in Apapa for the commissioning of the Deep Blue project, a project designed to curb insecurity on the nation's waterways. Nigeria is tagged a high-risk country by the international shipping community, which means cargo and ship coming into the country attract high insurance costs.
With the launch and full deployment of the Deep Blue project assets and the passage of the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences Act 2019 by the National Assembly, security of maritime trade in our territorial waters and the Gulf of Guinea are largely guaranteed. The unnecessary security costs borne by shipping companies running into millions of dollars annually has been finally removed. We shall now focus on the expansion of indigenous participation in the maritime trade.
Mr. President, I lay claim to this project. It was my entire idea. I didn't sit with anybody. It was my idea. And I can tell you why. As a governor in the South, they were killing and maiming in the water every day. Yesterday, Mr. President, when we took over, we were number 3 in the world in maritime insecurity. Now we are number 1. But from the record we are having, we've begun to make progress, which means we soon exist number 1. In fact, we move from number 3 to now having what they call, so all goods coming to Nigeria are charged as if they are coming to a war zone, up to today.
With the commissioning of this laudable project, the dream of repositioning the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, into a high professional and more effective maritime body is gradually coming to a reality. This dream, of course, will have become a mirage without the kind cooperation of the armed forces of Nigeria for providing its personnel to man various aspects of the project, including the air asset, the maritime, and the land assets.
These assets and platform by themselves cannot address the challenges of maritime insecurity. Even if we have assets and arrest the pirates, if we don't prosecute offenders, it is wasteful exercise. Mr. President, sir, today the maritime industry expresses its gratitude for you signing the Suppression of Piracy and Other Maritime Offences SPOMO Act 2019 into law, the first of its kind in the entire Gulf of Guinea, that is fast becoming a model for the other African maritime nations. Under this law, we have successfully prosecuted, convicted and sentenced about 10 offenders for the first time. It is worth noting that major milestone resulting from the partnership with the industry is new framework for the jointly tackling maritime piracy in Gulf of Guinea, signed and co-chaired by Inter-Regional Coordination Center in Yaoundé, Cameroon, and the Nigerian Navy, as well as NIMASA, known as Gulf of Guinea Shade.
I wholeheartedly welcome today's launch of Nigeria's Deep Blue Project, reflecting Nigeria's commitment to lead the fight against piracy, not only in your national waters, but in the Gulf of Guinea. The launch of this project is a significant step to enhance maritime security in the region.
The president then commissions the project, which is expected to increase security around the maritime domain.
Accounting for over 80% of transportation requirement of the global economy, concerted efforts and innovative actions are required to address attendant security challenges. Therefore, the flag-off of the Deep Blue Project marks an important milestone in this regard and in our collective efforts to tackle security challenges in the form of piracy and maritime crimes in Nigeria and the Gulf of Guinea. This intervention, no doubt, will facilitate a conducive environment for the maritime sector to thrive and contribute to the diversification of the Nigerian economy. The Deep Blue Project is a critical step towards the realization of maritime security in the region, which underscores Nigeria's commitment in providing the necessary framework and resources in cooperation with other nations and maritime users.
The Integrated National Security and Waterways Protection Infrastructure aims to prevent illegal activities in the Nigerian Exclusive Economic Zone, enforce maritime regulations, enhance safety of lives at sea, and prevent illegal activities in the inland waterways. With the launch of these acquired special mission aircraft and other maritime assets, there are expectations that their operation will further change the maritime security narrative in Nigeria.
The inauguration of these projects is a welcome development for the states and the nation, and the major appeal is for the proper utilization and management of these national assets for a better nation. That's all we can take on this week's edition of Special Report. Thank you for your time and, of course, your usual company. I'm Jeffrey Uzongo.